Okay, y'all, let's go from day to night with this cute little two-piece situation. So there's actually a pair of matching shorts that goes with this, but I'm starting off the day real cute like with a pair of distressed white jeans with this nice shirt. My necklace is from J. Crew. If you want to buy this set, which you'll see the shorts in a few moments, when we go to the night portion of this little short, you can get them from my Poshmark page. I'll have it linked down below, but I thought this was too cute. I have one extra small, one small, two mediums, and one large for anyone interested. But this is what we're working with. This to me is a perfect little daytime brunch with the girls situation. What's up, everyone? It is your girl Gelbeauty-QM here, aka Grace Honey, and today we're gonna get into another underrated versus overrated situation. So I have a whole bunch of eyeshadow palettes and other makeup products to talk about in today's video. So without further ado, let's get into it. But if you love a good dupe videos like these, I do fragrances, I do 4 looks, 4 palettes of why you don't need to buy the newest makeup releases. I also do the new makeup release videos every week, and I love to try out a new complexion product along with a new fragrance. So if you like those types of videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. And without further ado, let's get into this video, which is full of dupe-esque type things. So I'm gonna start off with the eyeshadow palettes because there's like a million of those to go through. Honey, it's like a whole little giant pile. It's a lot. So I actually have a few of the latest dupes here, so I figured I'd start off with those because you'd be excited about the latest dupes, and then we can get into some of the older ones, if you will. So first one I have to talk about in underrated versus overrated is the Ace Beauty Ambiance palette alongside the Nude Truth palette from Cosmic Brushes. Now, we all love a good Cosmic Brushes moment. I know I do as much as the next person, but this palette reminds me of so many other kind of neutral-esque palettes that I had to go ahead and point them out. So if you like brown girl friendly versions of cult classic products, this is definitely one for you. This will be in that video as well, just FYI. But as you can see, the Ambiance palette from Ace Beauty looks awfully similar to this palette from Cosmic Brushes, the Nude Truth palette. As you can see, this is just a deeper version of that one. So if you need a deeper version because you're of a deeper skin tone and you feel like these tones might not necessarily work perfectly for you, I feel like the Ace Beauty Ambiance palette is great for you. It gives me good sport vibes. This gives me like a toned down version of good sport vibes. This gives me more good sport vibes than that. If you know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about the ColourPop Good Sports Vibe palette that came out a million years ago that they got rid of and they never should have. But the Ambiance palette to me definitely makes up for that one. And if you're a lighter skin tone, I feel like the Nude Truth palette might make it up for you. So if you like lighter neutral tones, then I feel like this one would be good for you. If you're more into the grungy, more smoky tones like my girl Dionluvsmakeup, then I feel like the Ambiance palette would be right for you. But either way, I feel like both of them are nice. I just feel like Cosmic Brushes gets more love lately than Ace Beauty. But in all fairness, like, where did Ace Beauty go? I don't know what's going on with them. I feel like they haven't launched anything new in forever. So I'm feeling like maybe that's why they're not getting as much love as they used to, because they haven't launched anything in a while. And you know, we have to stay on top of the latest releases. So if you're not on top of giving us the latest releases, we have to go elsewhere. And it's not to say I don't love the brand, because I still personally love the brand, and I feel like lots of other YouTubers do as well. It's just a case of, you know, like, we have to review what's new since that's what you want to see a majority of the time, and they're not pulling it through. But the next underrated versus overrated I have is the Fenty Cosmetics Cradled in Ice palette alongside the Cool Truth palette from Cosmic Brushes. Now, I'm not saying overrated versus underrated, meaning that, you know, Cosmic Brushes is overrated and, you know, that Fenty Cosmetics is underrated, because I feel like both the brands get a lot of love from the indie community. It's just more of, I feel like, because the Cosmic Brushes price point is so much lower than some of these other brands that come out with the same quality of product, I feel like sometimes they get overshadowed, or since this is the newest one out, you might have forgotten about Cradled in Ice. So that's why I wanted to make sure I showed both and let you see that both of them are pretty similar. And it does help the Fenty Cosmetics here in America for people who don't want to order from outside the country and wait a long time and pay customs and all those extra things, because those are things that you have to think about when buying from Cosmic Brushes. But it would probably equal the same price as the Fenty Cosmetics one, and you do get a few more shades. So that's just something to keep in mind. I know my girl Dr. Ash and her makeup is actually not a fan of Cosmic Brushes formula. I think she tried the Serenity palette or the Muse palette. I forgot which one it was, but I saw her video and she said she wasn't impressed, and I was like, oh, Ashley, no, why? I felt so bad for her because everybody had been hyping up and raving about it. But I was like her when I first tried it. I just thought it was okay. But I had tried like 2 or 3 blue, green, purple palettes already, so I was kind of like, it's just another one to add to my list and it's okay or whatever. But after getting over the hype of having tried those other ones and going back and trying it, I found the quality, and I'm hoping she finds the quality in it too, because I think she said she's gonna buy another one of these, and she was hoping that it would work out for her. I forgot which one it was that she was gonna buy, but hopefully Ashley liked it. She hasn't posted any videos in a while, so I don't know what's going on and who all over there, but I hope everything is okay. But back to this, I'm just saying that I feel like both the color stories are pretty similar. Of course, you get more colors in the Cosmic Brushes one, which is again is something to think about. I know some people like a more curated color story, which is why I want to talk about again the Fantasy Cosmetica Cradle and Ice palette. You can get both of them, and you can use my girl Karen Harris's code as Cage Makeup. At the last 4 places I talked about, Karen has a code at Cosmic Brushes, Karen has a code at Fantasy Cosmetica, and Karen has a code at Ace Beauty. So if you need a code at any of the places I just named, use my girl Karen Harris's code, okay? Thank you so much. But I feel like depending on what you like, that'll determine which palette you would buy. If you like a smaller curated version of the Cosmic Brushes palette, then the Fantasy Cosmetica one would be nice for you. And if you want a more fuller version, then you might like this. If you want just like the blues and purples that are in this palette though, they do have one called Winter Wonderland that you can pick up, and it's just like a blue, green, purple situation, and it doesn't have any of those other things. Where did this? There was a plastic thing within this. I don't know where it went. Anyway, moving on. So on to the next 2 palettes. So the next underrated versus overrated is the Little Ghost palette from Angelica Nikovic and Udenzai, alongside the Udenzai Solman 2 Moon Witch palette. Now this is their second Solman 2 collection. If you all remember, they had one I think a year or 2 ago before Angie's Little Ghost palette came out. But I just found both of these to be extremely similar, and I want to remind people who already have the Little Ghost palette that you don't necessarily have to go get the Moon Witch palette, because as you can see, if I cover up this bottom row, they give quite a similar color story. If you can notice, I'm sorry, I'm trying to hold it with a mirror and blinding you, and you can still see the stuff, but it gives quite the similar color story. If you don't notice, like you see what? You see blue, green, purple, and you see blue, green, and purple there. So when you cover them up, they look quite similar. They both have good quality as well. I actually did a video comparing both of these side by side. It should be over here. I also did a video comparing each one of those Cosmic Brushes palettes alongside the other one, so hopefully the thumbnails are popping up here as I'm talking about it. But since I've compared both of these, you can hear my thoughts on them. I just wanted you all to see like the similarities or differences in between. If you're interested in purchasing either one, you'd have a good idea of each one. Now Angie's is limited edition, so just keep that in mind. If you like the color story of Angelica Nikovic's, you need to hurry up and grab it soon. I think this one is still available, and I think it's just the Trick or Treat one that's out of stock. Do not quote me though, but if you're interested, this is one you need to hop on in order to go get. I think these were in the mystery boxes they had a while ago as well. Don't quote me. I know some older collabs were in there for people who were excited and interested in it, but this is a newer version of that palette, so if you don't get a chance to get your hands on it, there is an alternative for you. So that's why, another reason I wanted to show it. So if you wanted to get it and you didn't get a chance to, you can still manage to get your hands on it. So there you go. Next one I have to talk about is Old School versus New Cool. This is the what is it? Unearthly Cosmetics Not Normal palette alongside the Longing palette from Blend Bunny. Now this is their latest palette drop they came out with. When I first saw it, I don't know, it's the background for me that made me not necessarily be intrigued or excited about the palette, because it's not that the palette isn't nice quality. It's nice quality. It looks nice on the eyes. One of my shades is Shadow, which is why I'm opening it very slowly the way I am, and I'm not going to be able to fully hold it up because I still haven't pressed the shadow back in, because I'm always doing a million shadow reviews, so I don't have time to like repair and fix certain things sometimes, and then I have to edit and do all those other types of things. So I'm not going to be able to fully hold mine up. I did do a mock-up of these though if you're interested in seeing it close up, but it's the best I can do, girl, because the green is broken. So this is what they look like. As you can see, this is a more muted version of this palette right here, but I feel like both of them look nice and would work nicely. So it just depends on what exactly you prefer. If you prefer a more muted version of the color story, I feel like you would like the Blend Bunny one. And if you like a more saturated one that reminds you of the Beetlejuice and Melt collab, then I feel like you would like the Not Normal palette. Now I don't know if they still sell this one or not. I know they were supposed to be reformulated once, and I think they did, and I don't know if they got rid of it and doing it again. I'm not sure, but the battery's flashing, so I have to go get another one. So I'll talk to you in a few minutes. Okay, girl? Okay. New eye, look who this. New eye, look who this. No, but like batteries keep dying, other stuff keep happening, so that's why I keep having to come back and forth doing stuff. But let's finish off the rest of these eyeshadow palettes, and then we'll get into the face products. So the next underrated versus overrated I had is this Ambiance palette from Sigma alongside the golden palette from Natasha Denona. Now everybody was excited about the golden palette, or I feel like some people were. I feel like some people were like me and weren't excited because they're like, you know, this is just the gold palette and I already have it, especially because of how many shades she duped out of the gold palette into this golden palette. I feel like they're having a hard time selling it too, because I feel like I see lots of ads for it, and I feel like I don't normally see lots of ads for Natasha Denona palettes, but I could have told her it was a bad idea to come out with a palette that you had already come out with before and have so many shades in it after you had re-released that palette and people bought that one. It was like you playing in their faces and they didn't appreciate it. But anyway, here's what they look like side by side. As you can see, they're quite similar. Now I feel like the one from Sigma is a little bit warmer, so if you like a more warm tone palette, I feel like you would like the Sigma one better. You can use my code Gelbeauty if you're interested in purchasing from Sigma. You can use my code Gelbeauty87 if you're interested in purchasing from Natasha Denona. So either one, I got you covered on the code, sis. But I personally wasn't a huge fan of this, and to me this is one of those things I truly feel like is overrated versus underrated, because I feel like Sigma makes great quality eyeshadows and has nice color stories that align with a lot of other brands that do a lot of neutral palettes, but I feel like for some reason they're overlooked because people are used to them having brushes. So I would definitely recommend you try the Sigma Ambiance palette, especially if you're looking to try, because Sigma usually has lots of great deals where they do like 20 and 30% off. Sometimes they give you free brushes and other things to go with it, plus they always include brushes in their palettes, what I think is amazing, especially since they have great quality brush formula, and since they're known for brushes, you know the quality of the brush is going to be great. It's not like those aviations that they just throw in the palette and people just be like, oh, okay, I got stuck with this brush or whatever, but you know. But yeah, I feel like this was just an overrated, overhyped thing. I hate to say, and I rarely say in these videos that I think things are overhyped. I definitely feel like this was an overhyped thing because it's like we already had this from you. We didn't need it again. So just go get the Ambiance palette and go on with your day. Now, unless you prefer more neutral tones. If you prefer more neutral tones, then I feel like maybe the golden palette would be good for you if you don't own the gold palette from Natasha Denona. But if you do, it's kind of like no point. Next palette I have to show. Do I have any more? Wait, these are for a different set of videos. I was wondering why they were sitting up separately. They're a totally different set of videos. My bad. Yeah. Okay, hold on. So next we have in the underrated versus overrated category is the Silent Night palette from Doodles by the Bunny and Gourmand Girls and Lauren May Beauty's Udenzai Sea Talk palette. So I'm not saying that Lauren's palette is overrated compared to the Silent Night palette. I'm simply saying that I feel like they're really similar in tone. Don't be fooled by the pink in this palette. That pink shade shifts into a blue shade. So the majority of this is just blues. And I feel like if I covered up the yellow shade right there that you see, you would see what I'm talking about. Because the majority of this is just a neutral palette with that one pop of yellow in the blues. And this is just a blue and brown palette. So they're essentially the same palette. It's just more of, instead of a like yellow, you get a gold. So you get golds and yellows in this one instead of the greens and neutrals and blues in this one. But it's about the same. So depending on whose formula you like, I feel like that would determine which palette you would like. I know Dr. Adriangameover said she was not necessarily a fan of the formula in Lauren May Beauty's palette or Makeup Just for Fun's palette. She said it wasn't the standard Udenzai formula. I can see what she means when she says it's not the standard Udenzai formula, but that didn't mean I necessarily disliked it. I still liked the palette, but if you were like her and necessarily didn't think it was the traditional formula, then you might want to look into the Silent Night palette if you were looking for the similar color story. It also looks really similar to the Dark Star palette from Pat McGrath that came out a while ago when she had those 6 pans come out for a holiday, and I think it was like 2019, 2020, something like that. I feel like they look really similar to that. So I just wanted to point that out, and I feel like this one might be going out soon. So if you're interested in picking it up, definitely pick it up. I'm not sure if Lawrence is still in stock on Udenzai or not. I know my girl Karen Harris has codes at both of these places. So if you're interested in purchasing, you can use code KHMakeup at Gourmand Girls or at Udenzai. Or you can use Tina the Fancy Faces code, which I believe is just Fancy Face at Udenzai, and pick it up. I'm pretty sure she doesn't have a code with Gourmand Girls. But yeah. New eye look who this, new eye look who this. No, so we'll wrap this video on up finally. I keep trying to wrap it up. Batteries keep acting up. I keep forgetting to add products in the bag. I keep getting new products to add. So we'll finally wrap up this underrated versus overrated. So the next underrated versus overrated I have is the Beauty and the Beast collection from ColourPop alongside the Archeo palette from Cleonic Cosmetics. When I first saw this palette, I knew it reminded me of something in particular. I don't know why I couldn't grasp it, but it was the Beauty and the Beast palette. They look pretty similar. Now please keep in mind I did take 2 shades out of my Beauty and the Beast palette and change them. So I added this shimmer shade right here, and then I added this yellow shade right here. I think I just took that yellow from another ColourPop palette, don't quote me, but I have that yellow and this shade, and as you can see they look pretty similar now that I did that. Now there originally was a yellow in here, it was just a lighter, like very light pasty like yellow shade compared to what's in here now, and my shifting shade does actually somewhat match that one. I've done an eye look comparing both of these. Hopefully you've seen it before this video. I don't know though, if you haven't, I'll try to put the thumbnail over here somewhere, but yeah, I'm here for it. It's really cute and I'm excited that I have both of them. But if you forgot about this one, just remember that this Archeo palette looks really similar to this ColourPop palette, and I know ColourPop comes out with so many things so you already forgot about it, but I feel like they actually calmed down with eyeshadow palettes recently, which I'm over here like, who are they? Who are these people? This isn't the ColourPop I know, but I wanted to show you all that if you only had to change a couple of shades out of it, since ColourPop palettes are magnetic, you can easily do that, and then you might not necessarily feel the need to go grab the one from, what is it, Dede Cosmetics, because they look very similar, and all I did was literally took out 2 shades. Those 2 shades make that huge difference to make it really look similar to this palette. So go buy you a dual chrome or multi-chrome single from a brand and use the yellows already in the palette, and you'll have a pretty substantial or similar color story. You just won't have those like gray tones that we saw at the end of the palette. Okay, so that's the last palette I had to talk about. Everything else is actually like a makeup thing, like a foundation, a lip product, a highlighter, a blush. So I don't know what else is so difficult to say, so I guess I'll do it in the order of the way you put on your face. So the first overrated versus underrated is here. So you all saw me use this twice. You saw me use it with the, what is it, the elf one. I prefer this one over the elf one because it's more true to the one from Milk Makeup. So this is Hydro Grip from Milk Makeup, and this is Jelly Grip from Essence. This is $5.99 at Ulta. It is just as good as the Hydro Grip, so I will definitely be trying to get this whenever I need Hydro Grip, as opposed to that. I'm actually thinking about decluttering my original one from e.l.f. because I like this Essence one so much better. The only downside is Essence likes to put and make things limited edition, so I don't know if this is limited edition or if this is permanent to their collection. So that's just what you have to keep in mind. They'll come out with something temporarily and then I'll be it, like the highlighters on my face that you'll see in a few minutes. That's a dupe for another highlighter I just got from Clionit, but like that's the only downside about buying Essence and Catrice things, because Essence is a sister brand to Catrice, if you did not know, and they come out with a lot of dupes, but they'll temporarily have them and then they'll get rid of it. Like they had this amazing powder that was a dupe for the Hourglass original translucent powder. It was amazing. It was just as nice. It did wonders, and then they randomly decided to discontinue it. It was only like $5.99, so it was a great deal compared to the Hourglass one. You could probably buy it 5, 10, 15 times over the price of the Hourglass one, because I think that one's $50. But for some reason Catrice decided they need to get rid of it like they were crazy. So I don't know. So with some of this stuff I'm gonna talk about from Essence, that's my only thing. Like, just keep in mind, if you really like it, you might want to stock up on it, especially because it's affordable and you don't know when they're gonna decide they need to get rid of it, because they like to do stuff like that to make me mad. Anyway, on to the next thing. So I guess we're getting to the foundations now. I have not tried any foundation from this brand in forever, but when I heard they made a dupe to one of my all-time favorite luxury brands, shout out to Too Much Mouth, because she's how I found out about this dupe, I was like, look here, we might just have to try you out, because you're supposed to be giving what my Giorgio Armani is giving. So the next overrated versus underrated is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk up against this Skin Silk Luminous Serum Foundation from Makeup Revolution. So I got the shade 13.5, which is funny because I got the shade 11.5 in Armani, so it's like they even got the 0.5s down and everything. I'm like, this is too crazy. So this is what both of them look like. I did a little reel and swatches of everything, so I'll try to have like maybe some swatches pop up right here in the picture so you can see, because I'm not putting this on my hands. This is the last video I have to do today, and we're not doing it. In Jesus' name, we're not doing it. So I feel like they're pretty similar. I feel like this shade is a little bit lighter, even though it is a higher number. This one I feel like matches me perfectly, and this is a tad bit lighter, but I guess that's good because that means they have more shades to choose from. But my whole thing is, does that mean y'all have more shades on the lighter in, and that's why this is still lighter even though it's a deeper number, or what exactly, I'm not sure. It was a quality product. It works nice. It's a little bit more watery and thinner consistency than the Giorgio Armani. That's just something to keep in mind. If you like the consistency of Giorgio Armani, this is not going to be the same in my personal opinion, but it looks nice on the skin and it wore fine. It was more luminous than that one, but that could be because this is supposed to be a serum foundation, and again, Giorgio Armani is a traditional foundation. But if you have normal to dry skin, I feel like you'll like this just fine. This is what I'm gonna have to like wear in the wintertime, whereas Giorgio Armani I can wear all year long. So that's something I have to keep in mind too, because it's like, although you're a dupe, since you're a serum foundation, it's not going to necessarily be best for people with oily skin or oily combination skin like myself. So those are just the things I wanted you to hear about and think about when looking at these two dupes. But I mean, like, you can use a mattifying primer and mattifying powders and probably make this last longer with the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray, which I'm sure if you're an oily combination skin girl like myself, you already have those kind of things in your arsenal. So this might be something you might want to look into, especially because this one keeps creeping up in price. But Giorgio Armani does have decent sales sometimes, so might be able to catch it on a decent deal. But I just wanted you all to know that both of these existed, just in case you didn't know, because I found out, and as soon as I found out, I was like, I might have to try it, even though I don't really rock with this brand anymore. Okay, so next let's get into the blushes. So I'll start with the liquid one, then I'll do the powder one. I'm gonna do the highlighters and end with the lip products, because believe it or not, I have hella lip products, and y'all know I don't even really care about lip products, but I have hella lip products. Next, overrated versus underrated, we have the Rare Beauty blush alongside the ColourPop blush. Now, spoiler alert, I personally was not a fan of the deepest shade that I bought in this one. However, this shade I'm showing you all, I felt like looked really nice on my skin tone. And I have the shade Truth from Rare Beauty and the shade She's Cute from ColourPop. Now, as you can see, the tops are somewhat similar and the packaging is somewhat similar. Even the doe foots are like quite similar. I don't have a picture of those, but I guess I can show you both the doe foots so you can see what I'm talking about. Even the doe foots like are quite similar, which I thought was interesting. Now, keep in mind, since this one is a mini, it's not gonna like be the same size, but I'm sure on the full size ones it's the same size. But see, it even has like the same kind of like doe foot situation, if you will. They both have like that weird twist and turn to them. Hopefully you saw that, but like, yeah, it's giving very much we had to copy your homework. Now again, I don't know if the colors are exact. This color I have, I'll try to put pictures over here because I did swatch these for best of viral makeup dupes volume 2, and I swatched both the shades, so it should be popping up over there. But like, spoiler alert, I personally was not a huge fan of the formula of these. I feel like the formula of Rare Beauty is much better. It left a kind of demarcation line on my face when I tried this on. You all saw it in the Fenty Beauty lip liner, lip gloss bomb lipsticks video or whatever. So I personally would pick the Rare Beauty over this one. However, this shade did actually work pretty nice for me and didn't leave that line of demarcation. So I don't know if it's just certain shades that it does that with based upon skin tone and things like that. I'm not 100% sure. I have not tried that other shade again, the pink one, in that video since I filmed it. I am going to try it again though, just to see how I feel about it. But the formula on this particular shade I had worked fine. The formula on all of these I've had worked fine. The only thing is I'm concerned about the line of demarcation that comes with these and how you have to work around it and fix it. So I wasn't a fan of it, but I didn't want you all to know that it was out there and that one color worked for me and one color didn't. So do with that information what you want. Next I have this, what is it? Underrated versus overrated. So these blushes from Fenty, they are very similar to the Nars Orgasm one, at least the shade Fresh Peaches. It's a kind of a lighter shade that reminds you of Nars' Orgasm shimmery blush. As you can see, they look very similar. I feel like this one gives off a little less color than this one, but they both have to be built up because of the type of formulas they are. But I feel like once they're both on the face, they look quite similar. A lot of people are coming out with this like orgasmish type shade again. I don't know if it's because, you know, they see how well it works for Nars, because Nars wants to put orgasm in everything and it works out for them. So maybe other people are like, well, we're gonna try orgasm too since everything is working out. But I definitely say I like the Fenty one a little bit better. I just feel like it has a nicer like sheen on the skin than this Nars one. But this Nars one is kind of old. It goes in my travel vacation set, in my caboodle when I go on vacation. So that might be why it had to be built up more. That's just something to keep in mind. But they do look quite similar. I've already made a reel on them being a dupe, so you can go watch my shorts on my channel about this in particular, because I did one just on this when it first came out. So that's something to keep in mind. Oh y'all, the battery is trying to flash. No, fix it, Jesus. I just want to finish this video for once, Lord. Next, underrated versus overrated we have is the Spotlight glow wands from Charlotte Tilbury versus these Essence one. Now I felt like the Essence one dried much quicker than the Charlotte Tilbury one, but it gave the exact same color. So if you're just more concerned about color and you work in sections to blend it out, then you shouldn't get that demarcation line that I got with the Flower Beauty ones. So it gives the same formula as Flower Beauty, where you have to work really fast as soon as you put it down to get it done. If you don't want to rush, use the Charlotte Tilbury, but I did want you to know there are other options out there, and these colors are exactly the same. If you saw my video from Essence, then you know what I'm talking about. So that's another one I want to talk about. The battery's flashing, so I have to come back and finish the rest of this. Lord Jesus. New eye look who this, new eye look who this. I'm telling y'all, the cars keep getting full and the batteries keep down. So that's why every day I just do a little bit of this video. I know it's absurd. Anyway, next underrated versus overrated is these two highlighters. Now, a lot of y'all watched my shorts on these two highlighters, so I don't feel like the need to talk about it too much. But this is the ABH Iced Out highlighter. Now when they first came out with this, remember everybody thought it was gonna be like the Amrezy one. It was just gonna be a different color, but it wasn't that formula at all. This one is more hard pressed into the pan. It does still get off nice payoff. If you like that yellowy goldish type highlighter look, then I feel like you'll like it. And this one from L'Oreal, exactly the same way. It's called Icy Gold. Honey, this shade is amazing. I was actually disappointed in the champagne shade, which I thought would look better on my skin tone, but spoiler alert, it did not. It was horrible. It turned out this yellowy ashy this beige ashy silver tone, but both of these look exactly the same. And y'all know for $15.99 versus ABH is $30. I want to say this is $34, $36. Do not quote me. I posted on Lemonade the exact price and all that. It might be in the description box of that video. Do not quote me, but this is definitely a dupe for this one, so I say get this one. And I feel like ABH isn't really that hyped that much anyway, but if you're curious in a highlighter that's similar to this one and you didn't want to repurchase this if you were low and actually really loved it, I feel like this one may be just as nice for you. I love this one personally, and I'm so happy to have it in my collection. And it's a nice smooth formula that works out very nicely. I did have another liquid blush to show, but since I had started on these highlighters, I figured just let me finish and then we'll get back to the liquid blush, because it's like a blush lighter, so I guess it can count in this category. I don't know. Anyway, next, overrated versus underrated, we have the Beaute Cosmetics, what are these, fruit lighters. So this is the shade Tart. This is a grape color one, and I found this highlighter from Essence that's called the Meta Glow highlighter, and it gives a very similar vibe to this one. Now please keep in mind, if you like more of a glittery sparkly highlighter, you're going to like the one from Cleone better. However, if you like a more like ethereal kind of translucent type highlighter, then I feel like you will like the one from, what is it, Essence a lot better. So here's what they look like side by side. This one does shift, I feel like, a little bit more blue purple, whereas this one I feel like has more purple and silverish tone to it. And then when you see it on the face, you see the blue glitters that bring out the blue in the Cleone one. But this one to me is just more of a blue purple, like shifting traditional iridescent highlighter, and this is more of a glittery blue purple silverish highlighter. So it all depends on what you like, which one you prefer. Hopefully I put the swatch video over here, because I do have a video of them swatched side by side. Lately I've been trying to do that as opposed to swatching stuff on camera, because I don't want to be using a whole bunch of makeup wipes and like taking up time that I don't necessarily have to. So hopefully we got that up in there, girl. I make no promises, we'll have to see. But next, underrated versus overrated, we have are these liquid like blush lighters, I guess you could call them. So I have the one from L'Oreal in the shade Glowy True Rose, and then I have Marigold Glow from Juvia's Place. Believe it or not, the Juvia's Place one has less in it than the L'Oreal one, so that's why I want to talk about this particular one, because this is $18 and I think it has 27 in it, whereas the L'Oreal one is I think $15.99 and it has 10 ounces, so you get more for a better price point than this one. I don't know how many shades they have in L'Oreal. I know Juvia's Place has a decent amount of shades. Both of them have a really nice finish and look very nice on the skin, or easy to blend out. So it's not like you put it down and then you blend it out and it leaves that demarcation line that I don't like. Neither one of these do that. And with L'Oreal, you can go to CVS and use your Care Pass, which is that $10 a month that you spend $5 and they give you 10 to spend in CVS. Then they give you those percentage off coupons on L'Oreal makeup, and L'Oreal has their own like manufacturer coupons. So I feel like this won't be a better deal at the end of the day, because you could probably get this for like maybe just the taxes if you play your cards right, depending on what coupons you use. Whereas with this one, it's 18 bucks. Now I'm not saying Juvia's Place doesn't have great deals. They have great deals on their website and things like that. It's just more of which one you would prefer. I'm mainly doing this for the people who go by the ounces and how many grams and all that type of stuff you get with product, who want more bang for their buck. I feel like you all will appreciate the L'Oreal one more. If you're more about the colors and just supporting a black owned brand, then you might prefer the Juvia's Place one. Either one, they're very affordable compared to like the Nars ones that are out, so that's why I wanted to touch on this. But for people who are into grams and stuff, you're gonna like the L'Oreal better because it's 10 ounces, and I think you only get, if I remember correctly, it was 7 or 8 ounces in this, so you get less in here. But I do like the color selection of this one better because the drugstore usually like slacks when it comes to the color selection. This is also a good alternative to Orgasm from Nars when it comes to like their blush lighter situation, because I think they have a blush lighter in Orgasm because everything is in Orgasm with them. So this would be a good alternative for that if you're interested. Comment down below and tell me if you want me to try that out, because I might be able to do that for you all, and then we can put my theory to the test. Okay, we can move on to lip products. So that's why I have the most things in, believe it or not. I have a awesome dupe or alternative that I'm gonna show y'all at the very end of the video, but we're gonna start off with these lip oils, because I actually have a couple of lip oil, lip gloss, lip balmy type things. So next, underrated versus overrated, I have the Catrice Powerful 5 liquid lip balm. I really like this. I got this in PR from them a while ago. This is the shade Fresh Asaki Berry, and then I got this one from Giorgio Armani. It's in the shade 02. These are the Prism glosses. This is supposed to be their version of a lip balm. It was very disappointing. It was mediocre at best, and I feel like the one from Catrice is so much nourishing and so much nicer. I'll try to remember the link down below. I make no promises, but this stuff is amazing. If you try anything from Catrice, I definitely think you should try this, especially if you're a person who likes lip balm. It goes on so nicely on the skin, I mean on the lips, and it feels so hydrating and moisturizing, probably because of the hyaluronic acid in and the shea butter and the vitamin E. It has a lot of different ingredients in it, but I feel like it is a million times better than this one. This one is mediocre at best, and I feel like I'm being polite by saying that. I was not a fan, and I wanted my money back, but the packaging looks cute, and I do review luxury makeup, so I figured I should have some good with some bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep it, but it's one I rarely, if ever, would use because the formula is not it at all. I would much prefer the Catrice, and that's why I want to point it out to you, because I feel like I've heard literally no one talk about this that does drugstore makeup. I know you can only find them on Amazon now because unfortunately they left Ulta. I don't know if it's because Essence was doing better than they were at Ulta and they had to pull one of the brands, so they pulled Catrice. But this product is amazing. You definitely need to try it out if you're a person who's into the lip balm, lip oil situation or whatever. You need to try it. It's everything. Next, I have a lipstick. So next, underrated versus overrated, I have the Makeup by Mario Super Satin Lipsticks versus the CoverGirl, I forgot what these are called, Clean something lipsticks. I have the shade Sunny Days, which is a nice pink one, versus a Broadway. So both of these are like satin creamy-ish type lipsticks. I feel like both of them do a good job. As you can see, they're very similar in tone as well, so we know Makeup by Mario is going to be much more than these. Again, I have swatched both of these side by side. Hopefully it has popped up here, but I like both of these lipsticks for different reasons, and y'all know I rarely if ever like CoverGirl things, but this lipstick was just as nice as the Makeup by Mario in my personal opinion. If anything, the Makeup by Mario might have been a little bit softer. I feel like I did have to build up the CoverGirl one just a tad bit more than Makeup by Mario, but I mean, having to build it up a little bit more, and this being, I believe these are like $22, $24 compared to this being like maybe 10 bucks. I bought this from Walmart. I don't remember exactly how much the prices are. Again, hopefully I put it up on Lemonade by the time you see this and you can get the prices, because I don't think I did a shorts on this yet, or yeah, a YouTube shorts on this yet, but they are great alternatives to the Makeup by Mario ones. If you can find a shade that you like and you're a satin lipstick lover, I would say you might want to try out this formula because it's going to be more affordable than the Makeup by Mario one, and you clearly see it has some colors that are similar. Okay, so the last one I have to talk about, I was so excited about because they're for luxury brands and some expensive stuff, and they're for ones that I like. Now, the very last one, I'm not saying the formula is the same at all. I'm just saying it has similar colors. If you already own it, you might not need to own this one. But this one, the formulas to me feel exactly the same, but they're owned by the same brands. So it would make sense for them to do this for people who don't want to spend a high price point. So the next, underrated versus overrated, is this L'Oreal Lip Gloss Balm or Gloss Lip Balm. I believe that's what they called it. Don't quote me, against the YSL one. So this one, I forgot it's called, I think it's called Nude Awakening number 15, and I bought this shade from L'Oreal number 5, which is called Feathery Fleur. They look exactly the same on the lips. I already gave you all a wear test comparing them. Honey, they looked exactly the same. They gave exactly the same. One from YSL actually felt heavier on the lips, but that's because it wasn't as pigmented as the one from L'Oreal. So the colors are very similar on both these. I know I did a swatch on that, so hopefully the video has popped up over here. But yeah, honey, if you don't want to pay these YSL prices out here, because these YSL prices are high, honey, then I would definitely say check out these. I actually want to pick up more of these and see how many of them are really similar to the YSL colors. I want to get the other shade. I have Scenic Brown in it. I'm telling y'all, the formula on this was amazing. It wore just as nicely as the YSL. It looked just as nicely as the YSL. And I feel like it was lighter on the lips than the YSL if you're one who likes to build up color like I do. So this is for people who like more of a color. If you like more of a sheer color, you'll probably like the YSL one better. But if you like a more pigmented colorful one, then I feel like you would definitely prefer the one from L'Oreal. So I actually prefer the L'Oreal one over the YSL when it comes to color. But both the formulas on them feel pretty similar, feel pretty nice. It's just one is like a stick form and one is more of a liquid form. And since I'm used to wearing liquid lipsticks, I prefer this one. I mean liquid lip glosses and things like that. I prefer the L'Oreal one. So that's just my personal opinion. But both of them are very nice. But if you all remember, YSL is owned by who? L'Oreal. So it makes sense that they would make a more affordable one. Last underrated versus overrated I have is these ColourPop lip balms alongside the new Fenty Balm glow sticks. So I just got these literally I want to say maybe 3 days ago in the mail, and I have the shade Spice Cold and Hibiscus, and I put them against a couple of shades from ColourPop because I feel like they look similar. So the shade I put it against, the Hibiscus one, the pink one, I put it against Guava Glaze, and then Spiced Out I put against PSL, and both of them looked quite similar. I should have again it popping up here, but I feel like both the shades are quite similar. Like, now I'm not saying they're exact, they are similar. They're not exact in tone. One looks a little bit lighter than the other one. For example, like you clearly see here that the one from ColourPop is a tad bit lighter than the Fenty one, so that's just something to keep in mind. If you wanted a little bit lighter version of the Fenty one, then you might like that one. And it's not as pigmented as the Fenty one, in my personal opinion, from what I remember about them. Which I know I always try something new, but they are one I do go back to when I want to have that type of lip product and that type of lip moment. However, I feel like the Fenty gonna dethrone them for a little bit, because I feel like she did pick some unique colors to use. Here is PSL up against Spice Out. Again, as you can see, the colors aren't exact. I feel like this one pulls more cool tone grayish taupey brown, whereas this is more like a warmish type brown, but it's still somewhat similar. On the lips, you might not be able to tell the difference because these are a sheer-ish type formula, and it just gives like your lips a better vibe. So just something to think about and consider if you're interested in the Fenty ones and didn't want to pay Fenty prices, because we all know you can get these ColourPop shades, the ones that I'm showing you, at Ulta's website, and you know they always have a coupon. Isn't it like $3.50 when you spend 15, and 2 of those will be 20, so you'd be able to get 2 lip colors that are somewhat similar to the Fenty ones for the price of 1. Now it's not going to be the same as the Fenty formula, and it's not going to be as pigmented as the Fenty ones, but I know, again, like I said, some people don't like that pigmented of a lip product. So if you don't, I feel like you might like the ColourPop ones over the Fenty ones. Now the lip liners are fire. I wouldn't try to convince you not to buy the lip liners, honey. The lip liners are everything, but since we have so many gloss bombs already out, and then she already has these shades out, some of them in the cream bombs and the original gloss bombs, you might not necessarily feel the need to run out and get these. But she did change some of the other colors to make some somewhat unique colors, which I liked. But I started off with some I knew I would use the most, and then I was like, I'll worry about getting some other shades later during the fall Sephora sale or during another good sale at Ulta. I'm thinking about picking up some now, just because today is the last day I gotta use my 20% off coupon at Ulta, since I'm a diamond member, of course. So I might pick up a couple more shades. I'm not even gonna front with y'all. So if you see me with some more shades, mind your business. Okay, I did it for Miss Rihanna. I might just buy some backups of the lip liners, because I know I'm gonna run through those too. I don't know. Anyway, let me get up out of here. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all the diamonds. Make sure you subscribe if you love a good dupe moment, because as you can see, I have like 3, 4, 5, 10 different versions of a dupe moment for you to watch. There's 5 brands that dupe themselves. There's underrated versus overrated. There's why you don't need. I mean, I give you all the dupes on the planet. If you love a dupe, you need to stay here and hit the subscribe button. But remember, you all are diamonds, and be blessed, girl. Bye. The membership is down below if you're interested in more luxury and vlogs and other exclusive content. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.